This video today is one that I've been really looking forward to making, okay? I think it's a video idea that a lot of you are going to be very intrigued by, very interested by. What are the categories of wrestling fans? What do I have to say about that? Personally, as you've seen by the title, in this video, I'll be going over the 9 types of wrestling fans, okay? In my opinion, there are 9 types of fans, and I'll go through each and every single one, what I'm calling each certain type of fan, what stereotypes come along with those fans, what truths and reality comes with those fans, okay? What do you have to put up with these certain fans? Now, some of you, when I say these stereotypes, you'll think, oh, that sounds like me. And some of you will probably think, oh, I hate that stereotype, I hate this one, but regardless, watch through the whole video, okay? It's a pretty entertaining one. Leave down below what you feel you are, what you don't like as far as categories and whatnot. So, yeah, that being said, without further ado, I'll get into this. So, number 1, the first type of WWE fan, I've got the apologist, okay? The apologist, or as I call them, the cretin, the idiot, okay? These are the people who watch WWE with rose-tinted glasses on, okay? They constantly act as if they're on the WWE payroll. They're just sipping the WWE Kool-Aid at any chance possible, okay? These are the clowns who watch a SmackDown nowadays written by Bruce and say, oh, this show is a 7 out of 10, man. And then I'll respond to them in a YouTube comment by saying, were you watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view from earlier this year, or were you watching SmackDown? Because SmackDown was like a 2 out of 10. I don't know what you were watching. And then they respond to something dumb like, but what do you mean, man? It was a good show, man. What was wrong with it? And then I reply by linking my review / roast / rip apart rant of the show, and they have nothing to say. They can't respond. Okay, the apologist, the cretin, that's that kind of person, okay? These are the people who watch a 3-hour Monday Night Raw in an empty performance center with commentary featuring Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Jerry Lawler with not one worthwhile match, storyline, or moment, and they'll tell me, oh, that was a good Raw, man. Okay, these are the people who give these Raws nowadays, like, above 5 out of 10s. These people who give Raws, like, 7, 8 out of 10. I don't know what you're watching. Are you watching Raw from, 2002? Like, what are you watching? Okay, I swear these people act as if they're on the WWE payroll. It's nauseating, it's sickening, and you're just too scared to, like, it feels like they're too scared to criticize anything because, I don't know, they could step on someone's toes or something, I don't know. So, that's the first, like, stereotype of WWE fan. Next up, I've got the most obvious one, the smark. Now, this one, they're the person who, they prioritize in-ring action over storytelling and characters for the most part, okay? They'd rather see a 45-minute match with minimal story, but as long as the match features 14 Canadian destroyers, 71 V-triggers, stiff strong-style kicks, and people being dropped on their necks, that makes it a better match than like a 15-minute hard-fought match that isn't realistically as great, but it tells a better story. These people usually love New Japan Pro Wrestling. They love Japanese wrestling. They preach NXT as the end-all be-all for the most part. But that being said, the positive of the smark is that 99% of smarks, from what I've seen, hate Raw and SmackDown. So that's a positive. Okay, back in the day, like 2014, 2015, 2016, the Smark Busters, who I love, and I'm really happy they're coming back, ideally, hopefully, very soon. They rip apart these smarks who talk about how great Ziggler is, Rhodes, all these Smark wrestlers, Tyler Breeze, how great they are and how they deserve pushes, and how Raw and SmackDown's really good, despite the fact that the ratings are falling through the floor. Those kind of Smarks who love the main roster and love Raw and SmackDown, they've pretty much all gone. You never hear positive praise from the Smarks from Raw or SmackDown, so that's a positive. So that's the Smark. That's stereotype number 2. So we've got the apologist and the Smark. Next up, number 3. This one, I feel like a lot of you who watch me fall into this one, the disenfranchised. Now, these are the people who watch 1 or 2 reviews of WWE shows each week to try and stay in the loop without having to watch like 5 hours of god-awful programming on a Monday and a Friday night combined. These are the people who, they'll watch like a YouTube clip of Drew McIntyre's main event match on Raw. They'll watch like what The Fiend did in a SmackDown YouTube clip, and that's all they need to watch. So they save 4 hours and 55 minutes and can keep keep watching and keeping up with the programming through the reviews of YouTubers, okay? As I just said, a lot of these disenfranchised fans are you guys who watch my videos, and I think that's awesome. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for the continued support. So that's stereotype number 3, the disenfranchised. Next up, we've got number 4, the hater. Now, on the contrary to the apologist, we have the hater. Now, before I explain the hater kind of type of wrestling fan, first I've got to say, shout out to the hater on YouTube, okay? That dude has heaps of charisma and entertainment value, despite the fact that he cusses every 3 seconds. But anyway, the hater is someone who is highly pessimistic. They watch wrestling with the sole purpose of, obviously, hating on it. So, that being said, some of you might be thinking who are watching this video, well, that sounds like you're a hater. You hate just about everything Raw and SmackDown do. Okay, that sounds like it could be you. No. Okay, it's not. Pretty much, I watch 5 hours of Raw and SmackDown combined per week. I criticize what's there to be criticized. So when Drew McIntyre has a promo, or when you say The Fiend or something like that, I'm not just going to say, oh, this sucks, that sucks. Okay, that's a common trend you'll see with the hater. They'll say anything and everything on the show, even if it's like a really good Drew McIntyre promo, even if it's like a genuinely like a good match that tells a story, God forbid, or it's like a Fiend segment, they'll just say it sucks without even really considering what happened in it. So that's the hater. Additionally, the hater despises All Elite Wrestling and everything they produce, saying AEW is a jobber fed, despite the fact that Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho have produced some of the best content in the history, or not the history, but in the last decade of pro wrestling, have produced some of the best content, despite the fact that MJF and Chris Jericho cutting promos in the ring is apparently an indie jobber fed, even though that's more entertaining than anything pro wrestling's had in years. But forget that. It just sucks because it's AEW. And then these people hate everything NXT does, obviously, and of course hating Raw and SmackDown. So that's the hater. That's number 4. Next up, number 5, we've got the anti-smark. Now, the anti-smark is similar to the hater, only the anti-smark is very often, and for the most part, very dry, very just straightforward and boring in the YouTube comments. Okay, how I see it, there are 2 types of anti-smark. So you have the anti-smark that will watch every match and segment on Raw and SmackDown each week, so they're fully in the loop and can undermine people in the community who enjoyed anything on the show accordingly. Okay, so you have that kind of anti-smark. Then you have the anti-smark who hasn't watched WWE in years, but for some reason feels the need to burrow around the YWC, finding channels with single and double-digit subscribers to leave comments saying that, I hate indie midgets. Indie midgets kill wrestling. You're a smark. So, yeah. So you've got those 2 kinds of anti-smarks. Either way, the very dry kind of comments like that, I hate indie midgets. Indie midgets kill wrestling. Like, thank you. We know. Anything else you want to add? Like, that's the anti-smark. Now, those kind of comments, they're not highly intelligent comments which showcase the utmost of higher order thinking, but nevertheless, I appreciate the comments and traction on my videos. So that's the anti-smark. Next up, this one is, in my opinion, the most aggravating category of the video. This one, the social media stan. Okay, the social media stan. What does that entail? Okay, these are the people who have Twitter accounts named Alexa Bliss Fan _05321 or Sasha Banks Superfan for Life, or Push Ziggler 234. They post multiple pictures of their idol, their favorite wrestler each day, post multiple pictures of dream matches featuring their favorite wrestler. They post tributes to their favorite wrestler. They do all this stuff just trying to get a shout out or a follow back from said wrestler. And if they do get a follow back, that's the first thing they're putting in their Insta bio, first thing in the Twitter bio, followed by Alexa Bliss. Like, these people are cretins. They really are. Do you have nothing better to do? Do you have nothing better to do with your day or your life than making WWE wrestler like stan accounts and posting 17 pictures a day of these wrestlers? Seriously speaking, okay, these people are also annoying because they get totally butthurt when you criticize their favorite wrestler in any vicinity. So whether it's a segment involving them, a match, a storyline, or just them as a performer, they just get so butthurt about that. These are also people who can even praise shows altogether just because their favorite wrestler's on. For example, I've come across some cretins on Twitter who are big Sasha Banks super fans who are stans, and you'll say that, oh, this show sucked, but then they'll say, oh, but Sasha Banks is in a match, man. And then I respond, Well, they lost to Tamina, and Tamina nearly broke Sasha's ribs. So why are you complimenting the show? Oh, but Sasha was on it, man. And then last week, but the SmackDown sucked. Oh, but Sasha was in a match with Lacey Evans, man. Didn't it annoy you that Sasha Banks lost, and she's lost to now Tamina and Lacey in back-to-back weeks? Oh, but at least Sasha was on. I get to look at Sasha Banks. Okay, these people are cretins, okay? Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, they won't lay you, okay? Just stop. So that's the social media stan. Next up, we've got the casual fan / the rating helper. Now, this one, some of you might be thinking, what do you mean by the rating helper? Okay, these are people who only watch Raw because it's on. They don't really care too much about WWE. They're definitely not a hardcore fan, okay? Then, these are the kind of people who, they're watching Raw for like half an hour, they fall asleep on the couch, leaving Raw on for all 3 hours. So, they leave the TV on, Raw on, and as a result, the Raw ratings get bolstered, and the ratings don't tell a full story of how bad the shows are. Okay, these people, your kids, your families, your stereotypical soccer mums, okay, the channel surfers, that's these people. So, you got the casual fan. Next up, for the second last one, you got the lifer. Okay, this is someone who, they've watched pro wrestling since the 1970s, 1980s. They're 40 plus years of age, upwards of like, between 40 and 70. They watch everything WWE produce and are single-handedly responsible for carrying NXT's viewership throughout the Wednesday night war of sorts. So that's the lifer. Pretty quick one there, nothing really to talk about. The only thing these people, as I said, are known for is carrying NXT in the ratings. And lastly, you've got me, the content creator. Okay, this category is the one I feel I fit into most for obvious reasons. The sheer name of the category is a giveaway. Okay, the content creator is obviously someone who makes content about WWE or pro wrestling. Be that YouTube videos, a podcast, graphic designs on Instagram, any of it. Okay, a whole range of creators. These people soldier through the shows and do it with the sole purpose of entertaining their viewers and getting reviews and roasts out on their channel. Now, once again, within this content creator category, I feel there are two subcategories, which these are creators like me who they're honest about what they see and they want to entertain viewers by, destroying these shows and calling out what needs to be called out. And then there are the creators who, they're the apologists. They're the ones who BS their audience. They say, like they watch a SmackDown and say, I think I was a 7.5 out of 10, man. And once again, I respond, how? And they have no response for me. So that's those people, the cretins, the disingenuous pro-WWE apologists who want to be on the payroll. So that, in summary, is the video. That is my types of pro wrestling fan, the 9 types of WWE fans. Just to recap, you have your apologists / cretins, you have your smarks, you have your disenfranchised fans, the haters, and then you have the anti-smarks, the social media stans, you got the casual fans, the lifers, and then the content creators. So those are my 9 types of wrestling fans. If you feel there are more, leave them down below. Personally, am I missing one? I don't think I am, but if I am, leave down below. So that's been the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, sub. You guys know the drill. See ya.